Hello and welcome back. We are at the end of the Rubric Marines. Today we are going to be putting some texture paste down and we're going to be sanding them. I've got them all finished. So if this is your first time here, or if you're not your first time, you saw the first video or the second video, this is how they've turned out so far. Just let that focus up because it doesn't want to. There we go. So the other day I finished washing them, adding the heat effect to the gun for the rest of them. Added some color to the rest of them. So yeah, I've got a video on that where I go through how I did the heat effect. I did a much better job with the other ones, I think. And then I washed them, did their eyes. This guy here I made some oopsie daisies on that I have to fix. But yeah, that's how this is the guy I showed. This is how using the Reichland flesh turned out for doing rust pitting. I will say the Tesseract glow shows up really nice in the eyes on video. I will admit to you, it is less good in person. I will say that honestly. Conversely, the heat effect I think shows up better in the video than it does on paper. But I hope you all have... Oh my god. This was very full, Vallejo. Very full. So, I'm going to start trying to add this texture paint to this. And then I'm going to do... this down as the base. Now, something I've talked about before is having garbage brushes. These are turbo garbage brushes. These were $2 from Dollarama. Because I'm going to be using this texture paste, and then later I'm going to be using white glue. So, turbo garbage. But, without further ado, we're going to get into it. And I think this brush actually is going to be too big for what I want. But don't stop me when I'm making a mistake. Now what I was aiming for with this was to kind of partially bury the Rubric Marine in the paste. So it kind of looks like they're getting buried by the sand. I'm not going to be overly worried about going a bit heavy in places. And anywhere I don't want there to be... Oh my god, no. Anywhere I don't want there to sand, I'm just going to brush it off. I was right, this brush is a little big. I'm learning this live. I'm doing this with you. I've actually never used texture paste before. So, we're going to learn all about this together. And I am actually going to switch to my smaller brush here that I was only going to use for the PVA, but now we're going to use it for this. And this might be too small. Yep. One's too big, one's too small. Give me 1 second. All right. Well, it turns out that those are the only two brush sizes I have, apparently. So, as I've said before, I've never claimed to be fantastic, so we're just going to push through with what we have. I'm not going out and buying new brushes just to do this. So one thing I'm learning in the very brief time that I've been doing this is it does not like to be moved around. It really doesn't. Hold on, I gotta adjust this overhead light a little bit. Definitely gonna have to, well, I got to come in with a little brush. This is also going to be a rare video for me because I'm going to have to pause and come back. Because this is going to take 30 minutes to dry, apparently. And I'm not going to sit here for 30 minutes and make you guys wait. I want to make a little bit of drifted sand. So I'm actually going to take a bigger portion of this and pile it up right there. And voila. Sand on the base. Now, when I come back, I'm going to hit this with some, what do you call it? Actually, no, I'm going to add a little bit more because this is sandstone. I'm going to hit this with some light wash. I'm thinking I'm going to use Agrax Earthshade, but I might end up switching to Vallejo Umber to start and go from there. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to let this dry. I'm hoping that this actually washes out around the base pretty good. Oh my god, it's so sticky. I might actually do another guy while we're here. Just because that was really short. Well, it doesn't seem like there's a lot to talk about with this. So, let's talk about other stuff. What do you guys have in mind? Oh, you're Canadian and you want to talk about the hockey playoffs? Oh my god. It's amazing that you brought that up. Currently at my school, the hockey playoffs are a big topic. Who's going to win? Whether or not it is your patriotic duty to support the only Canadian teams remaining in the playoffs. As you may or may not know, Canada right now is in a whole national unity moment where we're taking our anti-Americanism very seriously. Which, to be fair, as a Canadian traveling abroad, I will say even before it was funny, was something that we did. We would speak, people would be like, oh, you're American. And you'd be like, no, I'm not. Though, to be fair, I've always found in Canada, and this might just be my experience, but I've always found in Canada that there's almost always been more provincial pride than national pride. I've met a lot of Canadians that before they say they're Canadian, I say Canadians like I'm not Canadian. I've met a lot of Canadians, a lot of fellow Canadians who before they say they're Canadian, they'll say what province they're from. Right, that is the bigger. That is the first thing, right? You're Canadian? No, I'm Albertan. Right, you're Canadian? No, I'm Manitoban. Right, we get that a lot. Or you're Canadian? Yeah, I'm from Alberta. That kind of thing. So we've always seemed to have a higher amount of provincial pride in Canada, I found. Ooh, how am I going to get in here? We're just going to push that in. So this is the only detraction I'll say to my process, is that now it's made doing this bit of basing a little bit harder. But you know what? I said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think most people start in sub-assemblies and then doing stuff. I feel like the majority of people start out with the finished model and then go from there. And we're just going to put a big, get this in here, a big blob of paste right there. The answer, according to my students, is that yes, it is your duty to support your national team, even if you do not cheer for them. That is the consensus. Okay. Well, I probably shouldn't lick this paint. I never understood the paintbrush licking until I started this, and now I kind of get it. I do it so much now, where I just find it's the most quick and easy way to clear my brush in between. It's just to give it a little lick. Okay. Okay. Bump, bump, bump. Another one bites the dust. And that's a copyright strike and a copyright strike. Another one bats the dust. All right. I am going to pause it here, though. I'm going to come back in about a half hour when the first one's done. And I'm going to continue on. All right. I'll see you guys later. Hey. So, I'm back. I had to mute the audio there because my dogs decided that they really wanted to play. But I just added a thin wash, very thin. I used Vallejo Umber as my color. I liked the color of the Vallejo texture paste, so I didn't add a ton of wash to it. If you were going for a different color, you might add more. That's up to you. Everyone has their own personal preference, especially in a project like this. Right? I went with Umber. I like the color. I think in hindsight, if I were to do this with the rest of them, I might use a lighter wash. But that's just me. Some of this isn't quite dry yet. But that is the washing done. I've got a bit more texture. Right, I got to clean up the side of the base a bit. That's okay. Now for the real fun. I haven't quite figured out. Oh wait, maybe I have quite figured out how I'm gonna do this. Maybe I haven't. How are you supposed to get this out? Give me 1 second here, guys. The taste of Elmer's glue. Divine. All right. So, next I got to put where I'm going to have my rubric dust. I actually think I want a smaller brush for this. So I'm going to whoop, big string. I'm going to brush on some Elmer's. In a few places. Oh, I lost a brush. That's okay. One right there. And right there. I'm gonna try and get some more down in here. And try and get a little bit more right there. A little bit more there. Just a touch there. Okay. I'm hoping this works. And if it doesn't work, I might cry. Ignore that suspicious sound. It's just me spanking my Rubric's bottom. Okay. So I think with the other ones, I'm going to have to wait for them to dry a bit more. But I actually quite like that. The glittery purple sand spilling out. That's the Rubric dust. Let's just bring this in a little bit more. Bring our light down a little more on it. Yeah. So these are my Kit Bash Rubric Marines. The other ones, I'm going to wait for that paste to dry because I think that paste is sucking up quite a bit of it. I thought this was dry, but apparently not quite. Yeah. But here they are. Kit Bashed Rubric Marines. Dust, they're dead. They're falling apart. And the dust is spilling out of their armor. Dead on the rocks. So, let me know if you like this. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. My next couple videos, I don't know if it might be me. It's either going to be me doing my SOTs or me finishing my rubrics, my actual rubrics, or my Zangor, which all exist in a state of half-finishedness. Or it might be moving on to my Votan. But I think, yeah, I got a couple cool things I want to do with the Votan. I want to experiment. I've never done it before. I want to do energy effects. But I'm not sure if that's what I want to do next. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching the series. Those of you that did, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it interesting. And, yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. And I guess go Oilers, even though I really don't want to say it. Oh, and the YouTube begging. The YouTube begging. Do not forget the YouTube begging.